and even views toward the future that we can use as we kind of process this. KGO is such it's a legendary radio station. And now we have a camera on because we're on YouTube, and I guess that's the easiest and best way to do it. So you'll pardon the kind of less than telegenic nature of the shot.
As longtime fans and listeners of KGO, we were devastated when the station was abruptly taken off the air. But when we learned that there was to be a new Mark Thompson show on YouTube, we were thrilled. The dark clouds parted and the sun shone again. So thank you so much, Mark, Kim, John, Albert, Tony, for bringing us an even more entertaining, innovative, and engaging show. We love you, we listen every day, and we wish you many more of these terrific anniversaries. We love you guys.
I was trying to think of something cute and clever to say, but instead I'll just say this. The radio has always been a huge part of my life. I grew up in a radio family. My dad was a news director. I still have a transistor radio on my desk. When KGO disappeared, it broke my heart. But what you people have put together is just amazing. It's more than just entertainment. It addresses issues of the day. It brings people together. It gives them a voice. It's important, and we all owe you a great debt of thanks.
Happy anniversary! Can we play now, Mom?
It was 1 year ago that KGO went down, all because decisions made by some corporate clowns. Out of the ashes rose a whole new concept. The Mark Thompson Show became the best thing yet. With Kim, Albert, Tony, and a little bit of John Daly. Along with great guests, they make some sweet company. Congratulations on 1 year, let's hope there's many more. Now with the power vested in me by absolutely no one.
Receive the rod of equity and mercy.
Oh, shoot, my whole... Well, that didn't go well. Oh, my God. Well, anyway.
I want to let you go.
All right, now, everybody. Quiet, listen to me. We're going to start a show. Now, some of you people have been with me before. You know it's going to be a tough grind. But we're going to have a show.
Wow, that was amazing, man. I'm telling you.
I'm sitting over here in tears. Tony, that was awesome.
That's all Tony, man. That's all Tony. Wow. Tony, that's a tour de force, buddy. Oh, that was really great.
I have an idea. Let's see if I can pull it off.
Now my mascara's down my face, and I'm all emotional, and I'm crying.
It is emotional.
Thanks, Tony.
Happy anniversary, guys.
I'm not gonna cry! I'm not gonna cry!
It's too late.
Yes, I am.
It's too late.
It's done. It's party over. It's
that
happened.
was really special. God.
Oh, yeah. Are you crying too?
I never cried.
I'm not gonna cry! I'm not gonna cry!
But I will say, Tony, amazing.
Thanks, Tony.
Really amazing. Because that took... I have to say, you forget day after day everything we've been through.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was trying to do.
All of our great contributors. Wow, pal. That was really special. Tony, everybody.
Really good, Tony. Really good.
Yeah.
Gotta earn my pay once in a while, right?
You got me right in the heart.
You really rocked the show. You really rocked it. If you're new, we are a show that came from radio. Maybe you got that idea. We're now on YouTube, and this is our 1 year anniversary, everybody. Yeah. So there'll be a lot today that will relate to that. Tony, I like that. Grady's calls you the maestro.
Yeah.
With a weird spelling of maestro, but I like it.
Yes.
I don't know. You did a terrific job with that. Anyway, we're going to have many videos, and Tony's stitched them together, and we've got some great shout-outs from some high-profile people. It's all going to be a lot of fun today, and we will not ignore what's going on in the world. In fact, David Katz's segment is packed. He is the former federal prosecutor who comes here and decodes a lot of what's going on in terms of the law. And it's not only Trump. In fact, I think the Trump stuff is just a sliver of what we're doing today. It's Santos and it's Menendez. Remember Menendez, the guy who just a couple of weeks ago was essentially...
He of the golden bars? Yes.
He's the golden bar Menendez. He actually may be involved with back-channeling things illegally to Egypt. This is something that we touched on before that David Katz will speak to. We're going to have almost a lightning round with David Katz on everything that's going on there. But front and center today, our one-year anniversary is really something special. Kim is here.
Kim, how are you?
I was really worried. Kim, I didn't know what had happened to Kim. Usually we work on the show during the evening. We work on what we're going to basically talk about or suggest that we'll talk about. And we just have even text exchange. But I couldn't reach her.
No,
and she was MIA.
Respond. Yeah.
And this morning, I woke up and there was no message from Kim. And I'm thinking,
well, I didn't want to message you in the middle of the night because I didn't want to wake you up in case it dinged.
I don't have the phone up. But anyway,
yeah.
So I messaged Nikki. I said, is something wrong with Kim? Because I had no idea what was going on.
You were really worried.
Yeah. This is what I tell Courtney. I'm a worrier. This is why I'm glad I don't have children. I would never sleep. I am such a worrier. So I messaged Nikki. I said, is Kim okay? I haven't heard from her, and she didn't do the stuff that she normally is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, and Nikki's so great. She said, I'm at KCBS today. She was fine last time I talked to her. And said, oh, okay. I felt a little bit better because she wasn't worried about you. And then finally Kim got in touch. So there was that. And this is the other thing that happened. There was a major crash here in the studio. It had to happen. The wall of mugs.
No.
Yes, and it's just so weird that I don't know if you can see it.
You have a dead soldier there. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a total breakdown. It's a sad thing. One of our mugs.
Funny is when we were.
Where's my weed smokers at mug?
Oh, not a weed smoker one.
Yeah, it's sad.
Unfortunate. It's funny because earlier when we were waiting to come on the air, I was reading things in the chat and someone said that you were probably in your green room making sure all your mugs lined up.
Yes, there is a significant design to the mug. And as you know, these mugs are available on our merch site, getmarkmerch.com. I do want to say also, wow, the outpouring of emotion and special communications and donations that came in.
Yeah.
Our PayPal has lit up with some really special donations, and many of you don't want to be mentioned. Like I want to mention everybody, and then some are saying, oh, please don't mention. And it's like, okay, I got to keep track of the people who want to be mentioned. Everybody's so generous.
Yeah.
But happy anniversary. Thanks for a great year. Cheers to many more. From Robin. And that's a big shout out. Big shout out, big donation, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I am humbled by it. I know that that's something that's said, but I really am. I mean, it's quite extraordinary to see how we've reached so many people. And this is a project that. And you can see that was what was so much fun about Tony's thing. I kind of forgot how guerrilla TV this was at the beginning.
How barely we got that running.
I mean,
it was on Twitter Spaces, right?
I had the picture of the living room for a while. Remember that? Yeah,
exactly.
That's why I tried to find one of those.
We were doing a show on the radio.
Because I wasn't a TV I'm not a TV person.
Sure. None of us really want to be on camera, even now.
No, right.
But that's just what this platform is.
Yeah.
And so it's so funny as you look back on it and you see this show having evolved, and it will continue to evolve. As we finish our first year, we move into our second year, we will evolve further, and we'll have other contributors, and we'll have the essence of the show I want to keep, and I hope we never lose it, but like all things, it will evolve into other stuff too. We always try things on this show, as you know. We always try new franchises or, and so we're always tweaking it and working with it, and I'm completely preoccupied with it because I feel very challenged by this. You know, like I want it to be a success, and sadly we need your help for it to be successful, but you have helped, and you've made it happen for the last year, and we're looking forward to the next year.
Already multiple contributions. Do you want to go through some of those?
Yeah,
or
let's
do
give him
you-
a quick shout. Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. Jim Slayton for $20. I wanted to make my anniversary video for you and make it all about Mark, but I
Yes.
just couldn't do that. I had to think
Oh,
about the rest
that's
of the
too
crew,
bad.
and I never
Well.
finished it. Oh no!
I don't know about. I'm glad that you. I'm glad that you thought to do the video, but the fact that you just.
But that doesn't mean it's a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good thing that he thought of. Thank you, and a big shout out, Jim.
Big shout out.
You've been a supporter for all these many months. Stan Pollock, my favorite CPA. What up, Stan Pollock? Big shout out.
Big shout out.
For a 10 spot. Mark, it's been a year. I forgot how we found out about you doing the show. How would we have known?
Probably that
The
Twitter
only way that
Spaces.
you'd know is if there are two ways you could have known. If you attended the Twitter Spaces, or if you talked to somebody else who attended the Twitter Spaces that we did after KGO, because KGO didn't allow us to, kind of do a soft landing on it. And then the other way would be we sent out some texts, I think.
Yeah, John Daly, didn't he get
John
like,
Daly
the,
did
like,
that, yeah.
text,
Yeah.
list he had from
Yeah.
KGO. Yeah.
And
We had a super secret list. Shh.
yeah, Daly will be with us tonight for the virtual meetup for those of you who are attending that. Deirdre from Lozica Concrete, and let me say for all my concrete needs, Lozica Concrete, right? Big shout out.
Big shout out.
And look at that. Go ahead, Kim, you can read this.
When KGO went off the air, I joined Twitter to follow Mark T Live to see what happened. So that's another way people found us.
Of
I
course, there you
listened when all of the on-air personalities went live to discuss the next step, and Deidre says, "Happy anniversary."
Wow, $100. I'm not
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
between Tony's video and Deirdre and the PayPal people, and
I'm not gonna cry.
I know, very generous though. Thank you. Harry Magnan for a 20. Happy anniversary. The heart of KGO, the heart of Good Talk Radio lives on.
So nice.
Thank you, Harry. Big shout
Big
out.
shout out.
Look at this, Sally. Let's get this party started. Happy 1 year anniversary to the Mark Thompson Show. Right on, baby.
Big shout out.
Big shout
Really
out,
nice.
Sally. And I'm not going to cry. $100 though. I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Precisely. Thank you 1 year at KGO in exile. Yeah, that's what we were. In fact, we called it. Thank you, Amy P. Big shout out.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
That's the way we're doing it. Jenny T with a 20. Come on.
Big shout out.
Big shout outs. Man. Trevor Maxon with a 20. Happy anniversary, Mark, Kim, Albert, and Tony. Trevor in Hollywood. I'm the captain now.
Big shout out.
Big shout out, Trevor. You know, we had the guy who wrote that, I'm the captain now. Remember Billy Ray? He's been on the show a couple times. He wrote Captain Phillips. Vivian Alshawa, who I believe will be at the meetup tonight, the virtual
Awesome.
meetup. Big shout out, Vivian.
Big shout out.
And thank you for the 20. This is starting to feel like the Jerry Lewis telethon, where they just read all the, yes. The Boys and Girls Club of Fremont, Mark, would like to give you $35. Go ahead. This one, and then I want to, I probably should, I don't know, you can tell me, Tony, we can maybe run another video as well. Sharon Kidd, who has been a supporter since the very moment we came on. Happy anniversary to you all. I'm so glad you've come this far, and I always am learning from you all. Job well done. Congratulations. And she lays a 50 on us.
Big shout out.
Big shout out. And to all of you, I want to say thank you. Wow. Really cool.
I can keep going. You want to save the rest for later?
Yeah, let's save the rest. But I thanked everybody for piling in. It's just really cool. I mentioned Robin in PayPal, and I wanted to get to some other PayPal contributions. Some people have really stepped up. if you want to help us celebrate, and by the way, this is a celebration. It's not a fundraiser per se, so I hope you'll understand that. But because so many of you know that we are crowdfunded and that's what sustains us, I'd love to just mention that I wanted to get this info up. You can always reach us through the website, themarkthompsonshow.com, and there are click-throughs to PayPal and Patreon. Those are the best ways to make a contribution. But look, Super Sticker and Super Chat, that works. And people who put that down, I think, don't get it. It's a frictionless way to make a contribution. I love YouTube for making it available. Really, really cool. I'm encouraged. What's that?
I'm having trouble unclicking. So thanks, Tony, for helping.
Okay.
Tony,
another.
Let's run another. We've gotten some greetings. We asked for greetings on our 1-year anniversary, and a bunch of you stepped up. Here's another group that Tony put together.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
We just want to say a heartfelt congratulations.
Congratulations,
yes,
Mark.
for your anniversary of the show. It's a show.
Is it a movie?
I
He does a lot of voiceover.
He does a lot of voices, but it's a
I mean, we've watched.
Yes. No, we haven't.
Can you watch a podcast?
Yeah, you can. You can watch a podcast, but it's not good. It's just going to just sit there. There's not a whole lot it'll do. At
Congratulations!
Any rate, but congratulations. And we're really proud of you. We're proud of what you've done with this
medium
thing.
Congrats.
Aloha from Maui. This is Walt. Congratulations on making the year. You guys do great work. I've enjoyed the whole experience on YouTube, and I was with you before during the pandemic walking the dogs. I really looked forward for that time where I could listen to the show and get out of the house. Nonetheless, you guys are doing a great job, and no place I'd rather be listening to you in large part on replay just due to the schedule at the hospital. I'm working at the hospital. Looking forward to the next 12 months. Greater things to come, and I've enjoyed every minute. So thank you kindly, and much aloha.
Hi, this is Barbara from Chicago. Just wanted to send big love to the Mark Thompson Show on your first anniversary. Mark, Kim, Albert, Tony, thanks so much for making my day. Every day that I listen to you on the playback, have a fantastic celebration, and hopefully our paths will cross someday. Happy anniversary.
I want to say, Mark Thompson, thank you. Tukalu says thank you. You've been the best. It's been the best year listening to you. I respect everything you've done. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Peace.
The Mark Thompson Show.
I love my Tony. Tony put that together, man.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. You rock, pal.
Yeah.
Really rock. This, put this all together. I'm pushing these to Tony, and he gets them all stitched together.
You were just throwing it to me. You had no idea what I was doing.
I didn't know, and I'll tell you, the
blind.
presentation at the beginning was just really moving. But yeah, it is. You can put up things if you want along the way here. I did want to mention a really. She doesn't want me to recognize her name. Okay, it's so funny. Those who don't want their name or any kind of shout out, and those who do.
Yeah.
Like many of the messages this week, the KGO days hold a special place in my heart. Gene Burns, one of my all-time favorites for his love of the language. The moment when the airwaves fell silent during your show, making the end of KGO era as we know it, remains etched in my memory. Frantically, I searched Google to unravel the unfolding events. I have been a devoted Patreon follower since the beginning. Publicizing my name has never been my practice, nor do I engage in online discussions. Wow. It's the quiet, shadowy supporter.
Mm-hmm.
I love people like that. Mm-hmm. The big supporters who go, Mark, I'd like to simply support from the shadows if I can. I'm not interested in my name ever being revealed. I love that. I mean, it's just so mysterious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've been a devoted Patreon member, follower since the beginning, publicizing my name's number of my practice, nor do I engage in online discussions, but I am a dedicated listener. Most days, I find myself in my car during midday, and you accompany me. If not, you're a constant presence at the gym or on a walk. I laugh out loud, and I value the insights from you and your amazing guests. We need you more than ever as we approach 2024. Happy anniversary, and thank you so much for being there. Wow.
Really nice message.
Really cool, and a huge donation on PayPal.
I have a message from Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And she sent it with a picture.
Oh.
So there
Look
she
at
is
you,
with her-
Heather. Big shout out, Heather.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
And look at her Mark Thompson mug as well.
She's got a "Where are my weed smokers at" mug. Wow.
Where are my weed smokers
with
at?
her
Yeah.
White Claw, which apparently, those are a rarity. They're falling fast over there at Mark Thompson's house, so they're smashing all over the place.
Oh, the mugs are. Yeah, that's right.
She says, happy 1-year anniversary to the whole crew. One morning last October, I tuned in to get my daily dose of old white man AM talk radio. Not calling y'all old white men, by the way. When I first started listening to KGO several years ago, I was shocked at myself for enjoying a medium that I had assumed was something only old white dudes would be into. So that's what I called it. I was able to catch Mark's odd sign-off, and then... yikes. The days following were pretty empty, honestly. I hadn't realized how much I relied on KGO for news, information, and balanced analysis of everything going on in the world. What was I supposed to do now?
you have?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
started
guilty
reading...
pleasure. That's right.
She said, I started reading borderline QAnon conspiracy articles posted on Facebook by backwoods hillbillies from my hometown who I'm still Facebook friends with out of pity. Listened to droning out suit-clad talking heads on national news programs and died to death of boredom. So I hustled my little old white ass over to the Twitter machine to see what y'all were saying. And when the YouTube shows started up, I was so happy and relieved. Watching you guys build this back up from the ashes was a wonderful process. And I'm very grateful to you all for your perseverance and drive to keep the machine going. Every day, I smashed that little like button with my rod of equity and mercy and appreciation.
yeah.
Smashed it with your iron
Oh,
rod.
yeah.
And now I refer to my daily shows as Old White Man AM Talk Pirate Satellite Radio Podcast YouTube live stream broadcast show. It's a mouthful, and I
That
need to
is
work
a
on that a
lot
bit.
of,
Don't talk to me that way.
Cheers to many more years. By the way, she said, I hate the sound of my own voice on recordings, so no video or audio for you. Instead, here's a photo of me enjoying a morning brew in my official show mug. I can't believe I ran out of Coachella Valley coffee again.
What?
Well, gotta
Yeah.
make do.
What?
That's from Heather Kennedy. Thank you, Heather.
Heather Kennedy, that is a really cool email message. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Also, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all who have written such beautiful notes, and I've pushed them on to everybody on the show. Poor Tony, it's such a blizzard of stuff coming into him, because some of the stuff I just pushed him because I want him to know that people recognize him and appreciate him. And so when he's mentioned it in an email, I'll always include it, and I push it on. And I just want him to know that the work he does is appreciated. Yeah. And so I push it on to him, but I also push on to stuff that I need him to do. You know what I mean? So his email box is just like...
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that I was doing my day job that was getting out of hand because I was filling in so much there. It was like,
yeah.
I'll look at those later.
It's really cool that you stepped up, though. Thank you. And we're not done. We have other compilations and stuff to share with you. Kim's news, and then what I'd like to do is... also recognize others who've been, as I said, this first hour, because there are no guests, we have a bit of wiggle room. Then Katz arrives after the top in the next hour, and the former federal prosecutor will drill down on a lot of things going on legally. Kim will touch on what's happening in the Middle East, of course. I have some thoughts, and if I can't shoehorn them in, I will get them all in tomorrow. Tomorrow is a big show. Michael Schur, Jim Avila, with the politics of what's happening now, also beyond Middle East politics, what's happening in the House of Representatives. You've got a government, once again, that can't do anything, in control of the GOP, the House of Representatives essentially can't appropriate money for anything. This is a truly serious situation that's unfolding in Washington. I mean, you can't help but be struck by the insanity of it and by the fact that of these two choices, I mean, you know, you had this Jim Jordan, this fire-breathing dragon of hate and conspiracy and political recrimination. He's a recriminatory monster. Like, he just wants revenge on Democrats. He's the one who led the charge, the evidence-free charge on impeaching Joe Biden. And on the other hand, you got Steve Scalise, who is the nominee. And I've told you now this for weeks, that Scalise is that guy who says, you know, I'm a David Duke without the baggage. So, you know, you've really got, and they're both election deniers, as I've told you. We've discussed this at length. But anyway, we'll have Avila and Shore in tomorrow to discuss that in addition to all of our Friday regulars. But now we'll take a news break with Kim, and then more of your comments on this 1-year anniversary. I'm grateful to all of you that we've made it this far, and counting on all of you for another great year. Yeah, really special. Smash the like button like a boss. I mean, hit that.
Smash it with your iron rod.
And thanks for sharing the show. You know, the last thing I will say is I don't really keep super close look of this, but I see us creeping up toward 14,000 subscribers on this channel. And in the great YouTube universe, that's not a ton of people, but in our little homegrown show that comes out of the Bay Area and has now moved on to a more national platform, it really means a lot. So all of you who subscribe to the show, who share the show, that helps. And the more subscribers we have, the more we're able to sustain this show on this platform. So thank you for that. Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
On the Mark Thompson Show, I'm Kim McAllister, and let's start, as Mark mentioned, with what's going on in the Gaza area. This show sponsored by Coachella Valley Coffee. The first thing to mention to you is that the Israel Defense Forces say it is continuing large-scale strikes on Hamas targets. The death toll is now more than 2,700. 27 Americans have died in this conflict. A number of Americans are also among the estimated 150 hostages in Gaza. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken is not confirming reports that the U.S. has struck an agreement with Qatar, or Qatar, however you want to say it, to stop Iran from gaining access to $6 billion in assets. Blinken, who is in Tel Aviv, did confirm that Iran has not accessed any of the funds recently released as part of a prisoner swap. The Biden administration did say that it has the right to freeze those assets once again. Now to what's going on at the House of Representatives. Here's Steve Scalise, House Majority Leader. His path to the Speaker's gavel may be even more difficult than his predecessors. GOP lawmakers picked the Louisiana congressman over Ohio Representative Jim Jordan as its nominee during a closed-door vote yesterday. A number of conservative lawmakers have said they don't plan to vote for Scalise as he tries to round up 217 votes. May have a bit of trouble doing that. So it's not a done deal for Mr. Scalise. A lot of back and forth going on today. There was supposed to be a vote yesterday, but apparently they didn't have the numbers. So they're still going back and forth today, trying to figure out when the next vote will happen.
And let me just make this point about the kids running the show right now. Both of these guys are likely guys who want to shut down the government. They want to, they put it this way, they talk about using the leverage that they have to reduce spending. And when they say reduce spending, they can reduce it or demand that it be reduced in so many different areas, from Ukraine to programs that are designed to lift up those people who need a lift. It could even be federal loans of one sort or another. I mean, you have total control by the GOP, and they're using this, quote, leverage. And the leverage they are using is the threat and the real likelihood that the government can be shut down. And that shutdown date is November 17th, I believe. You can double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And you'll know that with both these guys running the GOP, that's what you have. All of a sudden, this awful guy, Kevin McCarthy, I mean, just all the choices are just awful. It's such a rogues gallery of horror, political horror. They're all political terrorists in a sense. They just want to stop government. They view government as a problem. The administrative state is the problem. And all of a sudden, McCarthy, looks like a day at the beach. So these are the guys that we're dealing with now.
On to he of the gold bars. More charges are being added to the bribery case against New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez. In a superseding indictment filed today, Menendez is accused of acting as a foreign agent and providing sensitive U.S. government information. Menendez and his wife indicted last month on multiple counts related to bribery charges involving a New Jersey businessman with close ties to the Egyptian government. So, more charges for Mr. Menendez.
And as we said, we'll talk to David Katz about that in the next hour.
The writer's strike may be over, but talks and the actor's strike are breaking down. The sides are still too far apart, according to the studio reps. The strike now 3 months old. So SAG-AFTRA continues to stand up. X is answering an EU regulator's claim that the platform allowed illegal disinformation related to the Israel-Hamas war. CEO Linda Yaccarino says X has removed hundreds of Hamas-affiliated accounts since the attack on Israel. The EU gave owner Elon Musk 24 hours to respond to the accusation. It's no idea if he's actually going to say anything. They sent him a letter. The Department of Justice is suing eBay, claiming it has allowed the sale of more than 343,000 illegal rolling coal devices. Each transaction carries a nearly $5,600 fine, meaning a total fine could be more than $2 billion. The device changes a vehicle's emission control system to make it spew black clouds of sooty exhaust. So if this is what's happening, and the DOJ suing eBay, they could be on the hook for $2 billion for selling these rolling coal devices. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and who wants to do that to their car? Why? I don't understand why people would do that anyway.
It's a whole, right. I don't get it either. It's a whole bizarre kind of flex that I don't get.
Let's show my manliness by spewing black coal smoke into the air. Fat Bear Week is crowned a champion. The world-famous Fat Bear Week crowning its champion. Her name is 128 Grazer. She lives in the Katmai National Park in Alaska. Of course, Fat Bear Week is an online competition. It's set up like March Madness with brackets. It's all based on a popular vote. Fans from all over the world voted on Katmai's brown bears after they assessed a slender bear picture from June and a fat bear picture from September. Got to fatten up for the winter, right? Park rangers say Grazer is huge, and she earned over 108,000 votes. A fat bear is a healthy bear, since that's how they survive winter's hibernation. Well done, Grazer. Chunker chunk. Good job. And this report is sponsored by the incredible people we are so lucky to have on our side at CoachellaValleyCoffee.com. And I'm sitting here drinking my Coachella Valley coffee tea because they have tea as well. I have mentioned that ginseng ginger tea. They have a vanilla tea that I still want to try. And I think this is the spicy chai tea this morning. So, but CoachellaValleyCoffee.com, and it's an exclusive Mark Thompson deal. You get 10% off of your purchase, all of it, across the board by simply entering Mark T at your checkout. You get your 10% off, and you get your amazing coffee in the mail or tea in the mail just a few days later.
Yeah, it's funny. I just on that, it's great that these guys have jumped on board, and so many people are enjoying, as you say, so many of the things that they offer. And it's a small roastery that hand roasts all the coffee. There are people who had questions about it. They called there, and the roaster gives them information. So nice. It's pretty great. So this is high end, really great stuff. and it's at CoachellaValleyCoffee.com, and we will get you that 10% discount. Make sure you use it at checkout. Mark T, all one word. It's the discount code that will get you 10% off on anything that you order there at Coachella Valley Coffee.
And if I failed to mention, the website is CoachellaValleyCoffee.com for the podcast listeners. I'm Kim McAllister. This is The Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Hi, this is Jim from the 916. I just wanted to wish Albert, Tony, Kim, and that guy who talks all the time a happy first anniversary. Cheers. You guys rock.
Hi, Mark. I just want to say happy anniversary to you and Kim and Albert and the whole gang. May you have many anniversaries to come.
Happy anniversary to the Mark Thompson Show. My kitty here wants to say thank you for many hours of listening pleasure. Thank you to Kim, Tony, Albert, and of course, Mark, because you should have come first.
The Mark Thompson Show. 1 year, well, couldn't happen in a better time of the year. KGO in exile, excellent. Have fun, you guys. Be kind to one another.
Hi, Mark. It's George Lucas, creator of the Star Wars saga. I just, oh, my eyelids are so dense. Oh, so tired. I just woke up from a nap. I was sleeping on a huge pile of money. I set aside about $1 billion that I just sleep on every night. It's actually really comfortable. $100 bills make great pillows. Anyway, I just want to say congratulations on your 1 year anniversary of your little pageant or play or whatever it is that you do over there. And also I want to say thanks for the mug, the beautiful mug you sent me. It's great. You sent one to me and my wife Melody. We love it. Sip out of these every morning. I actually really like the color too. It's kind of red and black, like the Sith. Are you a Dark Lord of the Sith? Some people in radio seem to think so. Well, I'm just having fun here, but anyway, wish you well, and may the force be with you. Oh, I gotta go lie down. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
The Mark Thompson Show.
That was pretty great, Tony. Gotta say, that was really cool. Thank you. Really, really fun. Everybody who sent us videos, thanks for your creativity, for your sincerity, and for the trouble that you went to send them, because they're not easy. Even if you just do a down and dirty one, I know it's kind of a pain in the butt. So thank you for getting it together. Really good, Tony. That was fun. Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. So I wonder if I can just mention and follow up. I know so much is going on with the Middle East, and I really want to get to that in probably a more substantial way tomorrow with Jim and with Michael, who come in every Friday. I'll just say this one sort of overarching thing about what's going on there. The effort to root out Hamas, a terrorist organization that has upped the terror, we talked about it yesterday, in horrifying ways, now with hostages that have been taken, but that doesn't even begin to speak to the horrific scenes and the horrific narratives that have come out of what they did when they moved into Israel. The effort to root them out is not a new one. And so when Israel proclaims, as they have, no Hamas fighter will live to see another day, or whatever these things, and I understand these things come from that place where you want this to end once and for all. This has been tried before. Israel has moved into the Gaza Strip before. Israel has tried to root out Hamas before. Israel, in fact, cut in half the Gaza Strip, or attempted to, and did with a military incursion that was quite extraordinary. Ultimately, Hamas survived. And some might say, through the years, they've become strengthened by Iran, I would say, respectfully, that's clearly why the weaponry, technology, and even planning, strategy planning, has become more sophisticated through the years. It's because of Iranian support. And, you know, you have Hezbollah in Lebanon, and they are far more technologically advanced than Hamas. So they are armed to the teeth. I mean, they are able to fire weapons, and we touched on this with John Rothman. Was it yesterday? They are able to reach Tel Aviv with sophisticated weaponry. So a wider conflict would be a serious problem. But I guess the point I'm trying to make, and the way I started this, was to say this entire thing has moved to a very serious place, and it's not a serious place we haven't been before. And for that reason, it's very hard to handicap the outcome. And that's why I mentioned to John Rothman, you'll recall, for those who missed it, I'll just reiterate, this idea that we're going to root out Hamas, we're going to get rid of the leadership, and that could take years. They've been trying to do this for years. And the legitimacy that Hamas has found, and when I say legitimacy, I mean the power that they have over Gazans, it's significant. And while they did win, quote, an election years ago, they now rule Gaza with an iron fist. And the people of Gaza, my heart breaks for them. Many of them, majority of them, probably don't want Hamas there. Hamas is a mafia terrorist type organization with a stronghold on Gaza. And they, well, I'll leave the rest of my remarks till tomorrow and my thoughts, but I just wanted to make the point that those who think that, well, you know, Israel's going to go in there so strong, they're going to, you know, it'll take, I don't know, maybe it'll take a few weeks, but they're going to, that hasn't been the experience. Add to that hostages, and it becomes a far more complicated picture. So that's just a word or two on what's going on in the Middle East.
The Mark Thompson Show.
I do want to thank so many who have stepped up on our 1-year anniversary. Wow, I didn't think it possible that we'd make a year, to be honest. I really. I get frustrated. I get frustrated with some of the technical challenges, as you know. I still get frustrated. This area behind me, we're going to deal with that, right, Tony?
Yes.
There's a reason that I look... There's a reason, everyone, that I look even more ghostly than I actually am, all right?
There's a reason that this place is fun.
It's because the lighting has to adjust for this. Tony's explained it to me, and it's, you know, I basically tune out after about 15 seconds. But the idea is we'll put up a very low-grade wall or something here, and that will improve the lighting. So, you know, I get frustrated because it was so easy on one level when we were on KGO. All I had to do was worry about content, which I love to do. I like to find stuff, talk about stuff. Oh, we'll do this. This is really serious. Oh, then I'll do this. It's really light and heavy and fun. I mean, it'll balance out the heavy. Yeah. We'll do these franchises, blah, blah, blah. That's what I enjoy doing. And I enjoy playing in the band with Kim, with Tony, with Albert. All of a sudden, I have to worry about a camera and the lighting and how come you guys can't get the levels right. And it's like, yeah, dude, it's not what I do. So
you became the entire radio station.
Yes.
Like all elements of it.
Yeah.
Can I say something to you? Because I just want to thank you. You didn't have to bring me along on this ride that we've been on for 1 year, and you did. You didn't have to include me in this show, and you did. And I am so thankful to be a part of it. I'm going to cry again. Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me be part of your team.
Oh, that's so sweet. I feel very strongly about you, and I think I've told you this before. I think you, with the news, you give us a rudder, you know, that helps steer the show. It helps center the show. I think those are the words I've used with you before. Mm-hmm. And then I love how the chemistry between us has grown. I think it has become better. And so, you know, you can take we give each other a hard time. You can take, when we do our stuff. I think it really is a fun band to play in, and I'm glad that you're part of it. So that's very cool. All right, how about a...
there was love there on the Mark Thompson show, you guys. Listen, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I should play a video. I got to stop this.
All right, yeah. Tony wants to stop it. Tony, play another video. Here we go. All right.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Okay, breaking news. This just in from the NBC News Desk. The Mark Thompson Show celebrating its 1-year anniversary on YouTube. Guys, congratulations. I love the show because 3 things. You guys give me all the current events. You do it with a lot of humor, and you do it with intelligence. So I really love listening to you guys and watching you. Get me back on the show, by the way. Congrats.
Hi, Tony, Albert, Kim, and Mark. Congratulations on your 1st-year anniversary, and I hope there are many more. I just wanted to thank you so much for keeping talk radio alive, and for, Kim, always talking about kindness, repeated over and over again, and for giving me courage. Thank you.
There once was a man named Mark, whose radio program went dark. So he gathered his team. They're a well-oiled machine. Now YouTube's his platform for talk. Hey Mark, Sandy in Redwood City here. My days are brightened and enlightened by you, your amazing team, your fantastic guests, and all my fellow party people in the chat. Congratulations on 1 year, and I just need 11,780 more shows.
Hey there, I've got 3 questions for you. First of all, who the hell's Mark Thompson? Second, why does he think he's such a big deal? And third, who would ever spend money on merchandise from the guy? But in all seriousness, happy anniversary, and thank you for doing such a great job, you guys. Take care.
Hello, happy anniversary. This is Francine P. from Katati. I love Mondays MMM and Fridays FFF. My mom lives in Florida, so it's hilarious. And everything in between. And I love all your special guests, and I want to wish you the best. Cheers.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Wow, that was very nice, Tony. Very, very nice. Thank you for putting that all together. That was really cool. Yeah.
People did all the work. I just went.
Well, you stitched it all together. Very cool. Shout out to Raj Mathai again. That's pretty cool, man. That very Raj cool. On that big NBC Bay Area set. Come on. By the way, Spencer, as I think I mentioned to you, Spencer Christian from ABC7, he'll be on our virtual meetup tonight. So I'm looking forward to that too. And I have an audio thing. Tony, I don't think I sent this to you. Is that possible? It's starts like this. I don't know. I haven't actually.
I'd been a KGO listener for at least 15 years.
Did you hear that one? Did I send that to you or not? Not enough to go.
I think so.
On?
There's one other voiceover one.
Okay, I'll leave it. I'll leave it aside for now because that's the only one I don't want to neglect getting it.
One second, let me check.
But very, very cool. Thank you guys. Look, it's been a great year, and we're looking forward to. To more. Jim Shields and Mark, since you repeated my video, I want residuals. Yes. Well, I'm sorry. Thank you. Is this true? Hang on a second. Nice job, Sandy, says Jim Slade. Trying to find this. Is this true? Chris says it's too bad George Norrie owns all the radio stations in the USA after 10 p.m. I miss live talk radio after midnight. Is that right? Oh, George is carried by so many stations, Tony? Yeah. Is that how it works? Yeah.
Also, I don't have that audio set. I don't think I have that one. So
okay.
If you want to play it, you can play it.
Oh, my.
What is that?
Look at this.
Wow. Kim C. Big shout out.
Big shout out.
She must have meant $1.99. Maybe she put too many nines in there.
Wow.
That's a lovely contribution.
$200. Happy 1 year anniversary. Mark, Kim, Albert, Tony, Courtney gets a mention. Thank you for all the joy you bring to the lives you touch. You are all amazing. Isn't that sweet?
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
It is truly touching. It really is. It really is. And Becky, go for it, Kim. Go ahead and read this,
I don't
please.
know what I'd do without the connection to my KGO friends. You all have been such a big part of my day for the last 20 years. Thanks, everyone, for making this happen. It keeps getting better and better. And that's Becky with a $25 contribution to the show.
Oh, that's very sweet. And a big shout out to Becky. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Spencer, one of my two favorite Spencers. Spencer
$5.
Christian, separate celebrity category. We already established it yesterday. And thank you, Spencer. Big shout out. Thank you for the $5. Susie, thank you for the 20 super sticker.
Big shout out.
Oh, what a day. We should have more anniversaries like this. It might really sustain us for the whole year.
I'm telling you.
Beth Farmer, happy anniversary. What does it say?
I've been a loyal listener for a year.
All right. Big shout out.
Big shout out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Tony Gunn, my favorite gun is the Tom gun, not the Tony gun, Tom gun. Yeah, big shout out.
Big shout out.
It's my favorite gun. Gunn. Nick. Look what a cool pick Nick has, man. What up, Nick? 25 spot. What does it say, Kim? I can't quite
says
read
box up the broken mugs. I'll take them. Happy anniversary to the whole
Big
MTS crew.
I love it. Thank you
Thank you so much.
I will box it up. Maybe now we need to get that box going. Commentator with a 20. What up?
Big shout out.
What up, commentator? Lulu Lancaster. It's been a great year. Here's to the next year. Indeed. Here's to the next year. Thank you so much for $50.
So much.
I'm not going to cry.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm close. RJ Dunn. Big shout out.
Big shout out.
Cheers all. Here's to many years to come. I certainly hope so. Alexander hits us with a 20. Happy anniversary.
Big shout out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Or as we like to say, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wes with a 10. What up, Wes? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Lisa with a 20. I'm loving it. I don't know what to do. I'm thinking about doing something drastic. Congratulations. You all make my day. So glad you're here, says Chico Karen. Happy anniversary. Longtime KGO listener. Big shout out.
Shout out.
Thank you for 25. I'm not going to cry, Kim. Kim, I'm overwhelmed. Well, it is John Rothman made us do it. Gary D says, happy anniversary to MTS and crew from Sandy and Gary D. Wow.
Nice.
Big shout out.
shout
I'm
out.
not going to cry.
I'm not gonna cry.
$100, $50 from Gary and what was what the one that was just up there? Put it up there again. I was not done with the one that was just up there.
I'm sorry. I think it was Sandy. It went away
You
already. I'm sorry.
cannot move through these so quickly.
Why are you yelling?
There's a lot of them. We have to go fast today.
But I've at least got to give people who are nice enough to contribute. I've got to give them a moment.
Why are you yelling?
yeah,
Gary
Sandy
D.
and Gary. And
Sandy and Gary, thank you.
Yeah.
Big shout out. Sorry you had to see us like that on our anniversary.
Big shout out.
This is approaching telethon level of contributions, which is a good thing and a better thing. Thank you very much, everybody who's contributed. I will say this, everyone who's acknowledged, contributed, very special, and I'm going to do something now. Just be, if you would, please, ready to receive.
Receive the rod of equity and mercy.
Those of you who already have the rod of equity and mercy, you are now receiving it again. And for those who have never received it, receive it for a lifetime.
Receive the rod of equity and mercy.
It never needs to be boosted. It is with you forever.
Receive the rod of equity and mercy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Tony, what are we doing? What is happening? You're producing today. You're board upping today. Long-time listener sends in $100. Come on. What is that? What is that? Is that a, read that, please, if you would, Kim.
Had been listening to KGO since Jim Eason in the afternoons. Boy, that is a long-time listener.
Wow.
Late 70s. My wife, dog, and I listen to the show live every day. Thank you for keeping rational.
We need more dog news on the show.
That's we do. Thank you for keeping rational talk radio alive, says longtime listener, and 100 bones.
I'm not gonna cry, but
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
that is clearly cry territory.
Really nice.
Off of Luis, go ahead and if you would please read that.
$50
Big
from
shout
Luis.
out. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for a great first year by transcending the limitations of terrestrial radio and embracing this cool interactive platform. You have created something so unique and special that will hopefully continue to grow and thrive for many years. Thank you. And again, that's from Luis.
That's so cool, Luis. Thank you very, very much. Big shout out. And thank you, so much. Can I just read you a couple of PayPal things here? Yes. Hi, Kim, Albert, Tony, John, and Mr. T. Samantha and I have been listening to your show religiously for the entire time you were at KGO and to your wonderful YouTube show. We learn, laugh every day with you guys. We love you so much. That's Jason.
Oh,
and
nice.
Made a really nice donation. Patricia says, always enjoy you on Conway on Tuesday. That's in Southern California on KFI Radio. So it's a special treat to have you for hour-long shows each weeknight when I listen. Love your crew, Mark. You are a brilliant interviewer, have a great speaking voice, but most of all, I love your madcap laugh. Thank you, Patricia, and thank you for the contribution. Wow, that really is.
Big shout out.
Yeah. Happy one-year anniversary, Mark, Kim, Albert, and Tony. Thanks for putting on a great show. That's from Mary on PayPal. And happy 1 year, Mark. You and the crew are the best, from Donna on PayPal.
Nice.
Just some super generous donations. And I'm overwhelmed and really touched. And I just want to make sure Mark, Kim, etc., you are the best. That's from Harry on PayPal. And again, thank you all very much. It means tremendous amounts to get your sentiments. Yeah. And of course, the show is sustained, sadly, only by donations. And so that you step up and donate is extraordinary. So I thank you very, very much for that.
I have an email from Linda, and she says, to Mark, Kim, Albert, Tony, and all the guests, too. Like many others, I was a decades-long KGO listener. KGO was always in my house or my car, and I was devastated when I eventually found out that KGO went dark. I was listening to you, Mark, that fateful morning when you were on for the last time. But now, here you are on YouTube, and I listen to you every day, although usually in after hours, but I never miss a day. I hate the weekends because you're not on. How dare you? And I always smash it for you, too. Your show is smart, it's informative, entertaining, and I wish you much success. I know it hasn't been easy, but I'm so thankful that you found a way to continue on. Happy anniversary. Love, Linda Coiner.
Oh, that is so cute and beautiful and everything great. And it even include smashing the like button,
With your iron rod.
which I really love. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Tony in San Antonio. Come on, everybody. You can all go to hell. I'm going back to Texas.
Y'all can all go to hell, and I'm going back to Texas.
Thank you, Mark, for hiding under the bed when the pandemic was heavy and not contributing to the spread. That's right. Yep. Between the wildfires and the pandemic, if you missed it, everybody, I was under the bed for most of 2 years. Wait, there was that time with no mask at the bar. Well, there.
Oops.
I got to be able to get my medicine, man. I can't drink it through the mask. You understand? Yeah. Happy anniversary from Tony in San Antonio. Yeah.
Y'all can all go to hell, and I'm going back to Texas.
You're right on. Right on, right on. Tony, you are the man, our Tony. What do I do now?
Thanks, Tony.
Well, we have a few congrat videos to play, but there's also time for news, and Katz is going to be here real soon, right? So
yeah. So what would your judgment be?
Kim, do
you want to do the mashup now, or
video?
Sorry, you go ahead. What?
Do you want to just play another quick congrat video here?
I'd play a quick congrat video, then we'll do Kim's news, and when
Yep.
Katz arrives, we'll.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Here's some
here we
more
go.
greetings.
The Mark Thompson Show.
I'm so grateful. I guess that would be the word, grateful, that you and Kim and Tony and Albert are in my life 2 hours every day. Remember, I'm your number. That's 30 seconds. Dude, that's not enough time. That's not enough time. Anyway. Who are you talking with? I'm talking with Mark Thompson. Oh my God. Gotta go.
Tony, I so appreciate your good nature and laugh. It always makes me smile. Albert, I really appreciate your easygoingness. It doesn't seem like anything rattles you. And of course, your amazing sports knowledge. Kim, I appreciate your integrity, your beauty inside and out, and how you're courageous in sharing your thoughts and beliefs, even with Mark. And Mark, not least or last of all, I appreciate how famous you are. I appreciate all your famous friends that come on the show, and most of the time, your sound quality. But seriously, you are all so incredibly talented. I am just blessed to have this time with you when I'm free to listen to the show. Thank you for keeping us all connected in the Bay. Happy anniversary.
Hello, Mark P. This is Bob De Niro. Called me out here doing some gardening. Anyway, congratulations on 1 year of whatever the fuck it is that you're doing. Good for you. You get canned from the other radio station. And you're doing a show out of your closet. That's good.
The Mark Thompson Show.
I loved it. I loved it. Thank you, Bob De Niro. That was a nice way to button it out. Yeah.
I'm just going to cry my way through the day. I'm telling you.
It's very touching. You're right. It really is. It's quite special the way everybody's stepping up, and to know what we, the place that we have in everybody's life is really, really a cool thing. So. I'm not going to cry. I know. Okay. All right. But I've seen some great stuff, and this is from Heidi. Look at this. She lays 100 on us, and a big shout out. I'm not gonna cry. It is cry territory. Love your show and the sensible news and commentary. Happy anniversary to Kim, Albert, Tony, and Mark.
Big shout out.
Yeah,
thank you,
big
Heidi.
shout out. Heidi, thank you so much. Or as I like to say, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Really, really cool. Just a special day. So let's step into some news from Kim, and then David Katz will help us decode a lot of what's going on everything from the Supreme Court to the new Menendez charges. He of gold bars, you'll remember, and cash stuffed in his pockets, and more. Smash the like button like a boss while we're...
Your iron rod.
Do it with your iron rod. Why not on this 1 year anniversary? Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
I'll not cry my way through the news. How about that? I'm Kim McAllister. This is the Mark Thompson Show, and this report is sponsored by the incredible people at Tenuta Vineyards in Livermore. More on that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about more than 2,500 people They have lost their lives in the Israel-Hamas war. Defense officials say about 1,200 Israelis have been killed by Hamas militants, and the Palestinian Health Ministry says more than 1,300 people have been killed by Israeli airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. The ministry says more than 6,000 people have been wounded in Gaza, more than 300,000 displaced. Israel says the Gaza Strip will not see any relief from airstrikes until Hamas frees all of its hostages. Freeze them. Today, statement coming after the Red Cross called for fuel to be allowed into Gaza to prevent hospitals, in their words, from turning into morgues. Israel has vowed to annihilate Hamas following Saturday's attack that saw hundreds of militants storming the border, taking hostages, and murdering people.
It's such an awful situation. There are no good moves. There are hostages involved, as you just said. And the idea somehow that you can cut off electricity, water, these things that are vital for life in Gaza seems unspeakably awful. And on the Israeli side, they're saying, well, they've just done something unspeakably awful and they still have hostages. And so for that reason, we are saying, great, release the hostages, and everything in terms of water and those supplies that will sustain life in Gaza will come back. And I've just explained to you that, Hamas, even though they rule, they're not connected. They're not supported by a lot of the people in Gaza, which makes this tragedy even worse. It's a really, it's a sad, grim scenario that's playing out.
The House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, is scrambling right now as we speak to lock down the votes that he will need to become the next Speaker of the House. Republicans huddling behind closed doors this afternoon. It's unclear, though, when the House is going to take a floor vote. Lawmakers nominated Scalise over Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan for the speakership Wednesday. The costs for a variety of goods and services on the way up. September's Consumer Price Index out this morning from the Labor Department shows a 0.4% increase for the month and a 3.7% jump over the same time last year. Those numbers slightly exceeded most analysts' expectations. And as we mentioned, New York Congressman George Santos is facing possible removal from office. Long Island Representative Anthony D'Esposito is introducing an expulsion resolution to, in his words, rid the people's house of the fraudster George Santos. Santos was just hit with federal charges accusing him of stealing identities and using his donors' credit cards without their approval. A new study reveals how much money people need to retire comfortably in California. According to data collected by Go Banking Rates, a retiree would need a little more than $90,000 per year to live comfortably in the Golden State. That would leave a 20% buffer after paying for food, shelter, transportation, healthcare, utilities, and other essential expenses. California, not the most expensive place to enjoy retirement. A retiree in Hawaii will need $121,000 a year to live comfortably.
Wow.
The least expensive retirement state is Mississippi, where you can get by on $55,000 a year.
Yeah, get by. I mean, but you're living in Mississippi. All right.
I mean, how much do you have to
there's
save?
a reason that it's more expensive here. I mean, some of the reasons are not legit, but some of them are.
There's a reason that this place is fun.
Right? You got to pay for the fun.
Governor Gavin Newsom is signing several bills that are intended to provide protections for tenants. Going forward, landlords may no longer charge more than 1 month's rent as a security deposit. What used to be a month and a half, right? Now 1 month and that's it. Security deposits provide landlords with enough money to cover the cost of damages done by the renter. Another bill caps yearly rent increases at 5% plus inflation. And a third bill strengthens current eviction law, closing loopholes that allowed landlords to throw out tenants. A landlord group warned bills like these will lead to more rental housing being pulled off the market. Someone, speaking of money, in California is a whole lot richer today. A winning Powerball ticket worth more than $1.7 billion, the second biggest lottery prize in U.S. history, was sold in Frazier Park, California. That's in Kern County, if you're not familiar with Frazier
Park. That's near Bakersfield, right?
It's somewhere I've not been.
I think that Kern County is Bakersfield, is what I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not saying that that's where it was sold, but it's sold in somewhere in that county, which is sort of that part of the state.
Yeah.
Okay.
The prize had been growing since July when a ticket that was also sold here in California, that one in Southern California, won a jackpot of just more than $1 billion as well. We're just making billionaires right and left here in California. Look at us go. Woohoo! May you be a longtime Mark Thompson Show listener, whoever you are.
Indeed.
Yep. This report is sponsored by the absolutely lovely people at Tenuta Winery in Livermore, and they also have offered a lovely 10% off across the board for Mark Thompson Show listeners. But you have to do something in order to get your 10% off, and that is you call them and you say, "Smash it with your iron rod."
Smash it with your iron rod.
Okay.
And if you do that in a lovely way, they will give you 10% off.
Are they rating the way I say smash it with your iron rod?
Well, you can't just call and you say, "Smash it with your iron rod." No,
why
you can't.
not? It's the phrase.
You can't be devoid of personality. I mean, you really got to punch it.
Oh, my God. Now I've got to put on a show?
Smash
Yes.
it with your iron rod.
I just want the 10% off.
No, you got to give it some oomph. And
right.
then Rich out at Tenuta will give you 10% off of the Mark Thompson Why Are You Yelling Red, which, so
Why are you
good.
yelling?
Yeah.
And we also have the white. It's if you're a white wine drinker, it's, hey, which one of you is Mark Thompson? That I think is the
Mark Thompson.
Right.
Pinot Grigio, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so this is all from Tenuta Vineyard. You can see I'm holding my wine bottle here, and get your 10% off. So you can check in with Rich at Tenuta Vineyards. Their motto is "Give us 30 minutes and we'll be friends for life." And they really, really mean it. The phone number out at Tenuta, TENUTA, by the way, is 925-699-4576. Rich's email address, rich@Tenuta, TENUTA, TenutaVineyard.com. That's it. I'm Kim McAllister. This is the 1-year anniversary of The Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
It was great. I loved it.
How would you handle this? We could try ignoring it, sir.
Morning.
You cannot say you love your country.
Where are my weed smokers at?
Stay at home and get baked.
Thank you, everybody who has joined us on our 1-year anniversary. Left KGO exactly, well, we left KGO actually a few days. We started this show exactly a year ago.
Thank you.
The KGO disconnect was a few days prior to that. So we scrambled and tried to get it together, and that's what we're celebrating now is our 1-year anniversary. From PayPal, Christine says, "Love you, Mark, Kim, Albert, Tony. Longtime listener from the KGO days all the way back to Jim Eason. I look forward to your excellent show every day. You keep me laughing, which is important these days."
Yeah.
And thank you. Thank you so much for that, Christine. Thanks you for the contribution on PayPal. If anybody wants to make
Big shout out.
Yeah, big shout out. This Tiff MLA or Tiff MLA. I am so grateful for the Mark Thompson Show. Happy anniversary to all of you. Congratulations. And here's to the first of many, many more years to come. Mark, Kim, Albert, Tony, thank you all for what you do. Appreciate you all so much. And she laid a 50 on us. Thank you for that. Big shout out.
Big shout out.
And I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I cannot wait to get to this guy any longer. So please, he's so generous with his time. He is one of the great things that fell into my lap when KGO fell. I mean, it was all bad when KGO went away. But one of the good things was that David Katz became a free agent. And I was able to scoop him in. I talked to Pat Thurston, by the way. I got like her clearance. I just spoke to her, by the way, earlier this week. I love Pat, as you know, and she'll be on the show with us in the weeks to come. But the fact that David can lead us with so many great takes on the law is quite special indeed. And so happy anniversary, and please welcome David Katz.
Great to be with you guys.
Yeah, David, I know, you're on London radio, as I've mentioned, and on Fox News Channel for various legal takes as well. And I'm so grateful for you working us in. I'd mentioned that there's a lot going on, and we can, move through it as quickly as we can. on this very busy day. The breaking news of the moment was this Menendez, their new charges that are going to be leveled against Menendez, the senator, the Democratic senator, who was found with the gold bars and the cash and all these things, and with a relationship with Egypt. I wonder if you could speak to that bribery scheme that he's now being accused of with the Egyptians.
Well, let me just say first, happy anniversary. 1 year.
Yeah,
it's great. And I want your viewers and listeners to know that when you went on the air a year ago, here was Trump running around the country, not charged with a single thing. And a year later, Mark, indicted 4 times in 4 different places, 2 of them in federal court, 2 in state jurisdictions by different district attorneys. Now, just because something happens before something else happens doesn't mean there's a cause-effect relationship. But let's not forget, when you went on the air, and I think maybe they knew that David K. Johnston, Jim Avila, you, me, Kim, we weren't going to stand for it, were we? This man acted with impunity. So who knows what the next year is going to hold. I don't think it's going to hold him being in jail, but maybe the year after that, it will we'll really see him get the accountability that he so richly has earned with his misdeeds all of these years. And these, what do they say, chickens that are coming home to roost. And let's hope that it has an impact with the voters in November 2024, because that's what really matters, I think, even more than the court cases. Of course, the court cases may shed light for some of the voters who are sticking with him, some of his base, to say, you know what, this is not the country that we want. This is the person that we want to deal with the crisis in the Middle East, all the things, these existential problems that Israel has, that the whole world has if we have war in the Middle East. You really want Trump in charge of that again, people? Come on, let's think about this country and the world and the planet and our future. So that was my 1-year anniversary. Shout out to you, Mark, Tim, Albert. Turning to Senator Menendez, here's another fellow who seemed to be running around a year before, doing a lot of really improper things. I mean, I don't want to prejudge him. Everyone is presumed innocent. Now, he and his wife and this fellow, I don't know his name exactly, but there's a third person involved who apparently commandeered this business with Egypt, where all the food that goes in there has to be halal. It has to be okay for Muslims to consume. And he has gotten himself in charge of giving this certificate. And he's got a monopoly. It's incredibly valuable. So all of the beef products, meat products that come from the United States that have to be certified halal, which is like kosher for Jewish food, he's got that monopoly position, making a fortune. And allegedly, he kicked back money to Menendez and his wife, money, gold bars, so forth. And what Menendez and his wife and this fellow have now been charged with is being foreign agents. They basically were agents for Egypt. They would have to register. That's one of the allegations that's made against Hunter Biden, right? That he should have registered to be an agent for Ukraine, for China. He didn't. Now this allegation, that allegation has not been brought in court as a criminal charge against Biden. It's just been bandied about, especially by the Republicans in Congress. But it's against the law to be a foreign agent without registering. And all the people like at big law firms, when I was at a big law firm in Washington, D.C., we actually had Israel as a client. We also had Switzerland. So I was a registered foreign agent for Israel and for Switzerland. I wasn't doing anything wrong, right? But if you're going to be an agent for a foreign government in this country, you have to register. Well, that was basically a technical violation, but it's been boosted up to criminal charges, and it's a good criminal charge against Senator Menendez if they can prove that he was an agent for Egypt. And there's certain things that qualify you as being an agent, and it sure seems like he did those things. I mean, they'll have to prove it in court. It may have prolonged his trial because, as I understand it, this is a superseding charge. And if you want to talk about that, that's an interesting inside baseball, but that's also what Representative George Santos got charged with.
Right. I do want to get to the Santos and the superseding indictment, but I want to just follow up on this, David. If Menendez had registered as a foreign agent, in other words, doing, representing or in some way connected to the government of Egypt, that still wouldn't have gotten him off the hook. I think what they're talking about here is bribery, isn't it?
Yes, it's bribery, but the mere act of not registering as a foreign agent is a separate crime.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. And that if you meet those qualifications, we were getting paid by Switzerland. We were advocating things for Switzerland before the U.S. government. We weren't taking a bribe. We were taking a perfectly proper legal fee, but we had to register as foreign agents for Switzerland.
But he couldn't have received these monies, the gold bars, the Mercedes, the compensation freely, that is legally, were he just to register as a foreign agent, or could he?
He could have registered as a foreign agent, but my God, that would have been the end of his senatorial seat. How could you be a U.S. senator in the United States and you're a registered agent for a foreign country? How could you be the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and you say, look, let's make an objective judgment on this that helps the United States, and actually you're an agent. So the minute you filed that form, that is totally inconsistent, right?
Okay, I get it now. Thank you.
The point is that that's a superseding charge, which may delay the trial of Senator Menendez, because you have, under the Federal Speedy Trial Act, 70 days to respond to any kind of superseding charge. So Santos will have at least 70 more days now that he's been charged with superseding charges. And Mark, I just have to mention this. I'm a working lawyer. One of my clients got charged in federal court this same week. He turns out to be, at the very least, the third person this week, and not at all newsworthy, who got charged with a superseding charge, which has had the result of not only delaying his trial, but also in the real world, if you're not Santos and you're not Senator Menendez, they usually ask for a higher bail, or they can even ask, if it happened during the period that you were out on bail, they can ask to revoke your bail. The idea being that, wait a second, you've been released on bail, and now you got in trouble while you were out on bail. If that happens, the government can proceed by clear and convincing evidence and try and forfeit your bail or even remand you to custody. Fortunately, that didn't happen with my client. I persuaded the government and the court not to remand him to custody, but it is going to prolong his trial because he got charged in one of these superseding indictments, which means they take the original charges and they say, okay, now, in addition to all of that you're charged with, which is Menendez's situation, he's still charged with a bribery. He's still charged with all the things he was charged with the first time, the gold bars and all that. But on top of that, there's another, let's say there were 5 charges in that indictment. Now, charge number 6, in addition to what we charged you with before, we're going to supersede that indictment. We're going to charge you with not registering as a foreign agent. Or with Santos, Santos took this money allegedly from his donors. He took the numbers of his donors off their credit cards and said, oh, you wanted to give me $2,000. Isn't that nice? Now I have your credit card number and your information. I'm going to hammer your card for another 20 grand.
Right.
That's what he's actually charged with. It's just old grifter stuff, if it's
exactly.
true.
And I'm glad you said that, because, apart from all the legal stuff and the superseding indictment stuff and the, whatever, it is important to underscore that Santos was involved in that scheme. It's a real old school kind of clunky grift where you take somebody's credit card. You used to hear about it in restaurants. Remember the old school restaurants where people would give their credit card and that number would be living there and that receipt would be living there. And, it wasn't uncommon to have, the restaurant employees or somebody go through and try to grab those. That's essentially what Santos did. He's accused of doing.
It's not old school for us white collar criminal defense attorneys. It's still going on. It's still getting charged, and we're defending people. There are obviously defenses to those things, and who did it and what was the intent of the person who gave their credit card. And some of those people presumably sort of believed in Santos. Santos may say, well, wait a second, this is a misunderstanding with that particular person. They wanted to contribute to me. This is what I think Trump does, but Trump has better lawyers, right? Who put it, the person contributes to the Stop the Steal. Next thing you know, it's in some kind of, 501c organization. Next thing you know, it's being spent for him campaigning for president and hiring all these people. And I'm sure that that's one of the things that you could argue against Trump. But there are so many allegations against Trump. There will not be, in my opinion, a superseding indictment in the Washington, D.C. case. And likewise, they won't add any people, the unindicted co-conspirators, to the Washington, D.C. federal case against Trump, because they're really trying to get to trial in March. The special counsel really wants that March date to stick. And if you add new people or you add new charges, all of that delays the trial at least 70 days and counting, in addition to what it is now. So right there, they probably have to continue it into June 2024 if they added any new charges against Trump in Washington, D.C. federal court.
Just because you've mentioned now Jack Smith and Trump, let's speak quickly to that, if you would, David. Our time is short, but if you can speak to this revelation of sorts, which is associated with the Jack Smith filing. Smith, of course, the guy who's really pursuing Trump on the federal level, which suggests that there is motivation that will be revealed by federal prosecutors as to why Donald Trump took documents, certain documents. They don't specify what the reason is, but in the filing that Jack Smith made and that his people made, there was a reference to the fact that they will speak to that. They'll speak to the specific reason that Trump took these documents.
Well, yes, this is Jack Smith, the special counsel, finally appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland to be responsible for these Trump prosecutions. And he's brought not only this one that you asked me about, but he's brought the one in the Southern District of Florida before Judge Cannon, which looks like it's drifting past the election. But this one that we're focused on now, I think, is the one that may actually go before the election. And regarding the documents that he kept, I don't think we're going to know about that before the election, because I don't think that trial is going to go before the election. But yes, and I think it's going to be very simple, kind of what your listeners and viewers are thinking about, that he kept the ones from the Middle East. He thought that those had trading value. You know, he was going to sell them or the information to the Saudis, to the Qataris, to his friends in the Middle East, the people who gave his son-in-law $2 billion. And he was going to exploit them financially. He was also going to exploit some of them, for his own political gain. And like when this former Joint Chief of Staff Milley said, Trump was kind of impeding our efforts in Iran or something. He said, I was impeding the efforts in Iran. Trump said that's when he's showing that document about the Iranian invasion, the implication being, I didn't impede the invasion of Iran. I didn't want to invade Iran like Milley is suggesting. It's the opposite of what Milley says. And that's why he was waving around that highly confidential document, because he thought that it made a good argument to whoever he was trying to impress. Maybe he was just trying to impress them because he has this out of control ego. Maybe he was trying to impress them because the person was going to give him some money. There's also an allegation in the Bankston-Fried case. This is the cryptocurrency.
All right, let's finish with Bankman-Fried, because I've got Professor Fraknoi waiting.
Let me finish with this point really quick.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the allegations in Michael Lewis's book is that while this Bankston-Fried was going to save the world and do good with all of this crypto money, he was going to pay Trump not to run. And so one of the allegations in the book is that the message came back to him. Now, this may be totally untrue, total speculation, okay? But that Trump said, yes, for $5 billion, I won't run. So there's actually a cross-pollination between that allegation and Michael Lewis's book about the Bankston-Fried case, that he wanted to give Trump enough money not to run, and the price he heard back was $5 billion.
I'll tell you,
that's apocryphal. Totally apocryphal, Mark.
If it's true, it's a much higher price for Trump than I would have thought he would go for. But we can follow up on Sam Bankman-Fried next time, David. I've got Professor Fraknoi waiting. I can't say it enough. I'm so grateful for your contributions here every week. We look to you. You're kind of our legal North Star. And the fact that you've taken time, I mean, you are a working lawyer and, a former federal prosecutor, now a defense attorney. And the fact that you work tirelessly and still make time for us, it means so much to us. And I want you to know we're very grateful. So thank you.
I don't want to delay your other guest on our 1-year anniversary. If people should watch before next week when I'm on next Thursday, there's going to be some interesting litigation in the D.C. federal court about whether Trump can assert advice of counsel. You might say, well, why on earth does he have to tell the court whether he's going to rely on advice of counsel? His spokespeople and he go around the country and they say, oh, I did everything based on the lawyers. I had great lawyers. I had Eastman. I had this other lawyer. I had this lawyer. If he's really going to put on that defense in court, there is some authority that says he has to disclose that so that the government then has a right to look into that defense, so they're not ambushed by that defense. Trump may get on the stand and say what Trump wants to say, but normally people don't expect Trump to get on the stand and say it. They expect that he'll show that with legal memos. He'll show that with lawyers' testimony. If he wants to show it that way, he may have to disclose it early. And during this week, I know everybody's watching this grim situation in the Middle East and everything else, but if that's going to be a legal interesting point during this week. Just wanted to close with that.
Well, the last thing, and then I'll just mention that we can follow up next week. The Supreme Court case on gerrymandering in South Carolina, to me, is a huge, huge case as well. So we'll get to that. I know we put some back burner stuff in for next week, but we'll do it then. David Katz, everybody. Thanks, David.
Congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you, my friend.
1 year and counting.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so, so much.
The Mark Thompson Show. The Mark Thompson Show.
Hi, Mark, Kim, Albert, and Tony. This is Max the Cat wishing you a happy 1 year anniversary. I've been listening to the show since you started, and I really love your regular guests, Courtney, Avila, Shore, Johnston, Rothman, but especially Katz. Get it? By the way, I've been smashing the like button with my iron claw every day, and I really feel I deserve that rod you're always bestowing. Again, happy anniversary, and keep up the good work.
Hey Mark, what's up, dude? Ben from Orlando here. Always good to listen to you guys. I've been listening to you for quite a while now, and I couldn't be more ecstatic that you guys are celebrating your very first anniversary. I'm so glad that you made it, and you're not living on the streets in Skid Row by now, and Albert's working at the strip club, and Kim, well, I guess out of everyone, Kim would probably be the one who makes it. But anyway, congrats again, guys. Keep up the good work.
It occurred to me that I had not offered you a proper congratulations for your 1 year anniversary. So here I am in my pajamas, getting ready for bed, prepping for tomorrow morning's news on KCBS. But I wanted to tell you that you have meant so much to me. And not only in this past year and what I've seen you do with your new venue, but just since we started working together. It has been so important to me, not only because of our friendship, but also because of the stuff that you taught me that I have carried over to KCBS. And so I wanted you to know that. I also want you to know that when you had me as a guest earlier this week, I was so impressed with your audience, your viewers, how they're responding and following you, but also how they're embracing me as somebody who is part of the family as well. It's so touching to me, and I just wanted to tell you that is a reason to celebrate your anniversary, because you carried so many people over who need not only your voice, your truth, but also your friendship. So on that note, I want to say stop picking on Brett, but also I want to say happy anniversary. Congratulations.
The Mark Thompson Show.
That was so lovely. That really was. What a special moment from Brett. Man, really cool. Well, we have, I believe, another video. I don't know. Tony, you're going to... One more?
One left. I'm
left,
remixing it right now, so give me a minute. So
he's remixing it,
guest
everybody. It's kind of a...
Thanks, Tony.
Okay.
Well, let me then... Can we bring this up?
What's...
From Dillette?
Dillette! Big congratulations to all of you. Thank you for doing this. My pup, Harper, and my two kitties, Phoebe and Una, listen whenever we can. Your show is so well done, and the guests are outstanding and informative. Thank you, happy anniversary, and a 50 spot. Come on. Big shout out. I'm not going to cry, Dillette. Robert Snyder with a 20. Thank you. Congrats to the Courtney Kovacevic show anniversary. Yes, Courtney is on, and she is a big shout out. I've got to get to Andy Fraknoi. I call him Andy because I first heard him introduced that way by Jim Eason, but he's actually Professor Andrew Fraknoi. Angel in the Bay Area, let me just do a quick shout out to you, and thank you for the 20. Late to the chat, but gee, I wanted a broken weed mug to match my completely unbroken model. Can you spare that one? Yes, here is the broken. It broke the first thing today. Yeah. It broke right before we went on.
It's unfortunate,
So,
but apparently people want it. So hey.
Yeah. All right. It becomes a collector's item, and it was a good luck thing that happened right before we went on. So thank you, Angel in the Bay Area. Big shout out again.
Big shout out.
Mm-hmm. And now, without any further delay, I've delayed enough.
The Mark Thompson Show.
How about it for a guy who I first heard with Jim Eason years ago? And I said then in the Bay Area, Jim Eason was this radio host for those of you who join us from various places. And I said then, this is our Carl Sagan, who at that time was like the Neil deGrasse Tyson, okay? So a lot of time has passed. I'm so glad that he's with us now, Professor Andrew Fraknoi. When it comes to astronomy, he is a great rep for the cosmos. He's the emeritus chair at the astronomy department at Foothill College. Hello, Professor Fraknoi. How are you, sir?
Good. Nice to be back with you, Mark.
I am grateful, and you obviously can tell that you're here on a day that's kind of a big deal to us. We've been on this new platform, having left KGO for a year, and so that's why there's a lot of pomp and circumstance. But there is some cosmic, or I don't know if that's the way it should be referred to, astronomical pomp and circumstance this week, which is why we really wanted to have you on. I wonder if you could just give us a sense of that.
Right. Well, to celebrate your anniversary, the solar system has scheduled on Saturday an eclipse of the sun.
Wow.
Visible in all of North America. So this is our way of paying tribute to your anniversary. But seriously, we are actually going to have an eclipse of the sun. It's the kind of eclipse where the sun never completely goes out anywhere. There's always a ring of the sun visible behind the dark disk of the moon. But everywhere in North America, people will be able to see some part of the sun eclipsed. And here in the San Francisco Bay Area, almost 80% of the sun will be covered by the dark disk of the moon. So it's an opportunity to see the motions and complexities of the solar system in the sky near you.
Now, it sounds to me like no one in California, certainly, but will there be any place in the U.S. where you could actually see more than 85% coverage?
Well, you have a map up, and that's great. I'm going to talk right about that. So on that red path, the path enclosed by red lines on the map we're seeing, you can see that there is a path when the ring of fire, what's called the annular eclipse, is visible. And it starts in Eugene, Oregon, and then goes southeastward through Albuquerque, New Mexico, and leaves the United States in southeast Texas, goes into the Gulf of Mexico. So if you're within that 100-mile path, you will see the moon exactly in front of the sun and just a little ring of the sun showing. Everywhere else in North America, the further you are from that, there we see the ring, and the further you are from that path, the less of the sun will be covered. And in San Francisco, we're doing pretty well with about 80% of the sun's surface covered by the moon.
Is that what it will look like, Professor?
The picture we're seeing now is the ring. So that's what it'll look like in Eugene, Oregon, and on that path about 100 miles wide with a ring of the sun showing. Everywhere else, it'll look like just a big black bite is taken out of the sun, but that's intriguing too.
Oh my God, yes. That's really, in fact, I have to say that when I was first reading about this, I thought, because if and you've talked about this, the power of the sun, it's so incredibly powerful that even if a little bit's exposed, you don't really notice. It's not going to get dark, you know what I mean? Because a little bit is enough to illuminate. It's got that kind of power. But now you're saying, but if you actually, and I want to get to this because you actually are part of a group that has distributed and has funded special glasses where you can look at the eclipse. If you're looking, you'll see that we're kind of seeing on screen, right, Professor?
Right. Well, so this is actually showing you the ring of fire eclipse, but
right.
we will see more of
a bite.
The sun, the whole sun showing, and then a big bite taken out of it. But yes, whenever any part of the sun is showing, as you say, it's dangerous to look at the sun. even that little ring of the sun showing around the moon is enough, if you look at it for a long time, to damage your eyes. So I hope we will talk about various ways that people can protect their eyes. There we have a picture of the bite taken out of the sun during a partial eclipse.
Perfect. So you are part of this Moore Foundation, and you're one of the leaders of this project,
right?
To distribute 5 million safe viewing glasses and information through 10,000 public libraries nationwide. And there are a lot of libraries in the Bay Area, which is where you are, that are participating, is what I'm told.
That's correct. So the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation have very kindly funded a project to distribute glasses and information about the eclipse through public libraries nationwide. Now, this close to the eclipse, many of the libraries have run out of glasses, but please check politely with a library near you.
Have there been a lot of impolite requests, Professor?
Yes, there have been. When the libraries run out, people yell at the librarian. We astronomers have been told, please remind the listeners that the librarians are doing their best, and if they run out, it's because Mark Thompson talked about it and there aren't any left.
Yeah, my God, that's great.
Anyway, but let me just finish that thought. So everybody needs to have protection in order to look at the sun, even during an eclipse. So if you can score one of these glasses, that's great. But if not, there are still other ways to look at the sun. And my favorite is to use a colander. What? A colander? Now, you know what I mean by colander, one of those things you wash vegetables in with a lot of holes.
With the little holes, you strain stuff?
They serve as a pinhole projector. So here's what you do. It's very simple. You stand with your back to the sun Saturday morning. You hold the colander over your shoulder so that you're not looking at the sun. The sunlight is streaming through the colander, the holes in the colander, and you make a shadow on the sidewalk. And that shadow, each hole in the colander will show you an eclipse sun. Will show you the light taken out of the sun.
Cool.
Colander acts like a little pinhole projector for each of its holes. And if you're standing on the street with a colander over your shoulder, chances are the neighbors are going to come over and see if you're okay. And then you can tell them all about the eclipse.
That's very, very cool. I like that we all probably have what we need to see it. Nick says, I went to Oregon for the first total eclipse in 2017. Very cool experience. That's a total eclipse. I wonder if you can speak to that, because there is an opportunity to see a total eclipse that's coming up next year.
Right. So incredibly unusual for the same country to get two eclipses this close. But in addition to this eclipse that we're talking about Saturday, October 14th, there will be another North American eclipse on April 8th of next year. On a Monday, April 8th, there will be a total eclipse of the sun visible in the United States. And most of the country, again, will see a partial eclipse, but on a line starting out in Texas and then going northeastward through some of the Midwestern states and then into upstate New York and New England. If you're on that path where the eclipse is total, you'll see the spectacular total eclipse that we were talking about.
The weather is so key in that situation. You know, we traveled to Kansas City. Oh, there's the colander.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really great. Thank you, Kim.
On the left, you see the colander, and on the right, you see the same effect through the branches and leaves of a tree. If you stand under a tree, which has a lot of crisscrossing branches, then the holes in the branches also act like pinhole projectors and show you in the shadow of the tree lots and lots of eclipse sun. So both of those, using a tree as a pinhole projector or a colander, will work without hurting your eyes.
I just love it. Let me ask you one quick question, but thank you again for taking time out to be with us. I just think you're a great authority on this. Astronomy is one of those sciences that is, it seems to me, and I guess this is what I'm asking you, was one of the earliest sciences developed as civilization evolved. Is that right?
I think that's very right. I mean, people began to notice long before writing that there were irregularities in the sky. First of all, they were just impressed by the night sky. Before there were city lights, people had much better access to the beauty of the night sky. And then people noticed irregularities. The moon went through a regular set of changes month after month. the sun's altitude in the sky changed, and sometimes there were long days and short nights, and sometimes there were short days and long nights. So people began to pay attention to the sky. Some groups actually worshipped the objects in the sky. And it was one of the first ways that humanity began to organize its knowledge and get some grip on the natural world.
And it's just so interesting to look back and see how astronomers and scientists had to swim upstream against religiosity and other belief and just basic denying. How could you, we get a little bit of it today, maybe more than a little bit.
Right. Well, there is. I mean, there's still people going around saying the Earth is flat and that NASA never went to the moon and that the position of the sun on the day you were born determines your love life and destiny. I mean, UFOs are coming here and kidnapping farmers in rural states. I mean, all of this is, I think, in part because it is so interesting to think about what's out there. And people have a natural interest. Many kids say that the most interesting thing to them is outer space and dinosaurs. Those are the two subjects that kids are naturally interested in. And many of us keep that interest throughout our lives.
It's a wondrous thing, the cosmos. And so many sci-fi projects have been based around it, and so many franchises so successful, even though they just kind of take place in space. And after that, there's almost no science involved, in Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever it is. It's still star travel and cosmic travel that just it just captures our imaginations. And
Oh, I was going to say that one of the things about Star Wars, if you remember in the first Star Wars movie, we see Luke Skywalker on his home planet Tatooine, and there are two suns in the sky instead of just one sun setting. People say, what an imagination George Lucas has, because that couldn't happen in real life, that you have two suns. So just a couple of years ago, we discovered a planet orbiting two suns that would look exactly like that scene on Tatooine. So sometimes science fiction is ahead of science.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And just the beauty and the wonderment of it, I thought in Stanley Kubrick's, cinematic portrayal of 2001, which is the book originally, but it was that I remember just being so fascinated by that. It just seems so real. It seems so authentic,
Me too. And he made a special effort in the movie 2001 to make everything as science and engineering realistic as he could. And the movie still holds up very well.
I agree.
A movie about the long-term evolution of humanity and what's out there waiting for us, but it's beautifully done.
So again, it is this weekend. And what time does it happen? October 14th?
So if you're in the San Francisco area, the eclipse begins about 8:05. The
in the morning.
Biggest bite in the morning. Sorry, yes, 8:05 a.m. The biggest bite is taken at 9:20 a.m. and then the whole thing is over at 10:42 a.m. So you can see that's a long time, 8 to 10:42. Nobody's going to be watching it the whole time, and there's no reason. The moon very slowly moves across the sun, taking a bigger and bigger bite. So my advice is go around 9:05 or something, 9:10. Take your kids and your colander with you on Saturday morning and find the sun. The sun will still be a little bit low in the east, so find a position where you can see the sun and either use these safe glasses or your colander or some other projection to take a look at the eclipsed sun and enjoy it for a few minutes and then go back and resume your earthly life.
By the way, for our Southern California listeners and viewers, it's roughly the same time period, correct?
Right. And let me just say, if you're not in California, there's a wonderful website called Time and Date. Time and Date is the website, just one word, Time and Date. And then look for their eclipse section, and you can put in any eclipse, so put in the October 14th eclipse into Time and Date, and put in your town, and it will tell you in local time what's happening, when it's happening, how much of the sun will be covered. So I really recommend Time and Date as the website to check out if you want to know what it's going to be like.
Time and date. Come visit us again. I'm glad you could be here on. There it is. A time and date. Find solar and lunar eclipses in your city.
Yeah.
Always good information from you, sir. Thank you so much. It's great to have you in the mix. And I know it was, you didn't realize it was our 1-year anniversary. I appreciate you kind of parachuting in to tell us about this celestial event, which I think it's important for people to know. Kim, did you have something for the professor? Is that,
I did. Did we mention his book?
Oh, please. No, I did not mention it. Go ahead.
Because you have a new children's book. Can you tell us a little bit about it before we say goodbye?
Thank you for asking. So we've written a children's book called When the Sun Goes Dark. You can get it on Amazon and look for it on the web. And it explains with pictures and with little experiments you can do at home what eclipses are all about at the sort of 4th, 5th grade level. So if you have kids or grandkids who want to know what's happening and why eclipses are exciting to astronomers, it's called When the Sun Goes Dark.
Oh, cool.
Andrew Fraknoi.
I have a 4th grader who wants to be an astronomer. That's his current.
Right.
That's his dream. Right now, so that's a perfect book for him. When the Sun Goes Dark. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. There it is. And your fourth grader will need to talk.
Yes.
All right.
Well, and you'll talk to our audience again soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Fraknoi. Appreciate it. Dr. Andrew Fraknoi. Right on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Shadow Stevens. This is the Mark Thompson Show. Keep it to yourself.
Who's Mark Thompson?
Yeah, Tony, what do you have? You when you pop on,
left.
I know it's something. What's that?
We're also running real low on time, so
Thanks, Tony.
It's a 2.5-minute video. We still have a bunch of supers to get through.
Roll it. Let's go, baby. Go ahead. Hit me with the video.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Happy anniversary, Mark Thompson, Kim, Albert, Tony, and John. Love this show. You guys are amazing. Just want to wish you all the best and many, 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 many more years to come. Rich and Nancy here at Tenuta, friends for life, and you guys are like family. So happy anniversary, guys. Take care.
Hey there, Kevin Pollak here, Motion Pictures, the internet. I just wanted to take a moment. I heard the news, and I wanted to be a part of the celebration, quite frankly. The news is beyond extraordinary. It's inexplicable. One entire year, 12 months to be clear about how dumbfounding this is. It's a year. Happy anniversary to the Mark Thompson Show. You know, they said it wouldn't last. I said, give it a year. And here we are. Wow. And congratulations. A lot of hard work. It's every day, right? I mean, 365 days or 66. It's a leap year. Ah, buddy. Really? It's not every day. Well, a year. A span of one complete cycle around the... Congratulations, Mark. So damn proud. I mean, we've known each other longer than either one of us care to count or mention aloud. But I always love coming on the show and killing some time for you. So congratulations. Here's to many, many more days. Yeah, buddy. Congrats.
That is just the coolest. That is just the coolest. Mm-hmm. We actually still have a couple of outstanding videos that we will share with you tomorrow because we're out of time today. But we've got some pretty cool, a couple of things that have just come in. So we'll have those as well. But I just like that we've kept this celebration going all week. We started on Monday, and now we'll keep it going through Friday.
Thanks,
Tony, you really did such a great job putting this stuff together. And if you missed it, you must go back to the beginning of this show and see what Tony did. And it reminds me, and, you know, I'm here for every show pretty much. I am reminded of what we started as, what we became, some of the people who came through, all of our contributors. It was really powerful and emotional. And I got emotional and Kim got emotional, and that's all at the beginning of the show. You can watch it in replay. Now, tell me how we're going to navigate this last few minutes.
Lightning round of supers?
Lightning round of supers. Let's do it.
All right.
Here we go. Thank you, everybody. Lee Kopp sent a video and a happy anniversary from Eileen and Lee. How about a 50? Wow. Thank you so much, Lee.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Nice.
Really, really cool. Debbie says, you've all been with me while I garden, clean house, pay bills, road trips, long walks. You make life a bit more fun, and you lighten the load of my daily life. Happy first anniversary. The first anniversary is the sweetest. See you tonight. That's right. Debbie will be part of our virtual meetup.
Yay.
Big shout out.
Big shout out.
Thank you for the 50, Debbie. Wow. Thank you for the contribution. Hey, we're crowdfunded, so we give you the shout because it means something. Amy B for the 20 super sticker. Thank you. If you're watching in replay, you can hit us with a contribution after hours as well. Jeff says, happy first anniversary, Mark, Kim, Albert, and Tony. Love this format. Now I can listen to the whole show without FOMO, fear of missing out, since it takes me all day to finish an episode.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
As long as you watch the whole thing, it's cool.
You can start and stop.
YouTube logs all the minutes.
That's YouTube cares about how long you watch. So thank you for that.
Big shout out.
Yeah, big shout out. It's weird, these YouTube lessons we've learned along the way. Trevor says, happy anniversary, Mark, Kim, Albert, Tony. Trevor in Hollywood.
Oh.
And I'm the captain now. He mentioned that before. We posted that. But
sorry.
big shout out to Trevor.
Big shout out.
And Harry. Happy anniversary. The heart of KGO, the heart of Good Talk Radio lives on. There's a 20. Thank you, man.
Big
Thank you
shout
so
out.
much. Thanks to everybody who's been so cool about giving us donations and super stickers. We can't recognize each and every one of them as we wrap up here.
Yeah, there's
but
so many left.
nutritionist Liz says, happy anniversary. Damn right I'm yelling. It's a big deal. Thank you for everything.
Why are you yelling?
Yeah.
Really, really kind.
You guys, it's really great. I will go back through and read some of the comments. I haven't been able to read them as we've been on the air. Here's $10 toward hiring a glam squad for you, Mark. I know, Heather, you know it's true. I need a glam squad. I do. Thank you for 1 year of KGO and X-File, Amy P. Thank you very much. A big shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah. Love you guys. Happy anniversary from Ren. What up, Ren? Big shout out.
That's the last of the actual messages.
Really,
Everybody else is supers. We'll get the supers
really
up on the
cool.
screen.
We will
while
get
this
to
credits are rolling.
everything in the days ahead. Tomorrow is a big show. One of the reasons it's a big show is because we have great minds coming through to give you a sense of what's happening on Capitol Hill with the GOP fight for the speakership. It seems like there are no good moves on that GOP House floor. And it seems like there are no good moves in the Middle East with what's happening in Gaza. We will talk more about that and get some analysis on that as well. Of course, tomorrow is Friday, so we'll do Friday Fabulous Florida. John will be here. Tonight is our virtual meetup. I'll tell you all about that when I join you tomorrow. And Kim will be there, and Tony will be there, and Albert will be there, and a handful of listeners who've stepped up and want to be part of that. And the After Party Live is next.
Do it live.
Yeah.
I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Check them out. Yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
Shadow Stevens for the Mark Thompson Show. Bye-bye.
Guys, thank you for all your support.
Out of time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.